Are you ready? Good morning. On behalf of the Nevada County Board of Supervisors and Allison Lehman, the Nevada County Executive Officer, welcome to the first annual Military Appreciation Event. I'm Stephen Rose. I'll be your MC for today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, the posting of the colors, and the singing of the national anthem by Nancy Haffey and Kim Wellman. Thank you, Nancy and Kim, for your beautiful rendition of the national anthem, and thank you, Color Guard, for posting the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. On June 4th, 1926, the United States Congress passed resolution calling for the observance of November 11th with the appropriate ceremonies, and later an act approved May 13th, 1938. The 11th of November should be a legal holiday and should be known as Armistice Day. And in order to expand the significance of that commemoration, and in order that a grateful nation may pay the appropriate homage to the veterans of all of its wars who have contributed so much to the preservation of this nation, the Congress, by an act approved June 1st, 1954, changed that name of the holiday to Veterans Day. Part of that proclamation reads, "Now, therefore, I, Dwight D. Eisenhower, President of the United States, do hereby call upon all citizens to observe Thursday, November 11th, 1954, as Veterans Day, On that day, let us solemnly remember the sacrifices of all those who fought so valiantly on the seas, in the air, and foreign shores to preserve our heritage and freedom. And let us repurpose ourselves to the task of promoting and enduring peace so that their efforts shall not be in vain. At this time, we would like to welcome all of our distinguished visitors who gathered here today to honor all veterans, Gold Star families, and their family members who made their service possible. Please hold your applause until the end of the introductions. Colonel Heather Fox, 9th Reconnaissance Wing, Commander, Beale Air Force Base, accompanied by Chief Master Sergeant, Command Chief Jones. Gold Star family member Colleen Marquis, along with her mother, Lori Norman, her husband, retired Colonel Rob Marquis, her brother, Sean Norman, and his wife, Becky, representing Captain Kevin Norman, U.S. Army, who was killed in action in 2003. Captain Ian Bastick, Air Station Sacramento, commanding officer, and joining him, his wife, Stephanie. Lieutenant Colonel Blake Hoagland, Commander, 7th Space Warning Squadron, Space Force. Commander Brian Durloff, Executive Officer, Navy Talent Acquisition Group, Golden Gate. Major Joshua Lewis, Commanding Officer, Recruiting Station Sacramento, Marine Corps, accompanied by Sergeant Major Geronimo Guzman. Hopefully joining us today, Captain Gloria Freck, Commander, Sacramento Valley Recruiting, U.S. Army, representing the NorCal Recruiting Battalion Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Dave Clay. Commander, retired U.S. Coast Guard Claude Hessel, representing the American Legion and member of the Nevada County Consolidated Veterans Council as the Commander, American Legion Frank Galino, Post 130. Also, we have distinguished visitors attending from our community. Nevada County Board of Supervisors, District 2, Supervisor Ed Schofield. District 4, Supervisor Sue Hook. District 5, Supervisor Hardy Bullock. I would like to make special mention of supervisors who regret to be unable to attend today. District 3, Supervisor Dan Miller. District 1, Supervisor Heidi Hall. Continuing with our distinguished visitors in attendance, Nevada County Executive Officer Alan Lehman, District Representative for Congressman Doug LaMalfa, David Morgan, Field Representative for Assemblywoman Megan Dahl, Yolanda Cookston, Civilian Aide to the Secretary of the Army, Lance Azumi, the Mayor of Grass Valley, Ben Aguilar, the Police Chief of the City of Grass Valley, Alex Gamelgard, the Mayor of the Town of Truckee, Anna Kolstad, Karen Meredith, proud mom of Army First Lieutenant Ken Ballard, killed in action May 30th, 2004 in Iraq, and President, American Gold Star Mothers, Department of Northern California. All government representatives, local, city, and federal. All elected city, state, and federal members attending. All chambers of commerce officials and members, along with their business representatives, both small and large. All high school, college, and university representatives. Thank you all for your attendance and support. Additionally, would the following friends please stand to be recognized? Veterans, please stand. Gold Star families, please stand. Thank you. And all family members who made Gold Star families and veterans service possible, please stand to be recognized. All family members who support veterans and Gold Star families, please stand to be recognized. Thank you. Furthermore, to the businesses and veterans groups, without their collaboration, this event and program would not have been possible. Ladies and gentlemen, as you enter the hall for today's event, you may have noticed a table at the front, to your right, my left. It's reserved for our missing veterans. I will explain. Set for one, the empty place represents Americans who were or are missing from each of the services: Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and civilians. The table symbolizes they are with us, in spirit. All Americans should never forget the brave men and women who answered our nation's call and served the cause of freedom in a special way. I would like to ask all of you to stand and remain standing for a moment of silence and remembrance of our prisoners of war and missing in action service members. Thank you. Please be seated. I would like to explain the meaning of the items on the special table. The table is round to show our everlasting concern. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their motives when answering the call to serve. The single red rose reminds us of the lives of these Americans and the loved ones and friends who keep the faith. Awaiting answers. The yellow ribbon symbolizes our continued uncertainty, hope for their return, and a determination to account for them. A slice of lemon reminds us of their bitter fate, captured or missing in a foreign land. A pinch of salt symbolizes their tears of our missing and their families. The candle reflects our hope of their return. The bound text is a book of faith to represent the strength gained through devotion to sustain those lost from our country. The glass is inverted to symbolize their inability to share a toast with us. The chair is empty. They are missing. Let us never forget. Always remember. Thank you, veterans, for your service, and let us continue to be successful in our efforts to account for you and the safety of all now serving our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the District 4 Supervisor of the Board of Supervisors for Nevada County, Honorable Supervisor Sue Hook.
Well, thank you. And I just want to thank you all for being here today. This is actually an emotional thing for me. I'm just so taken aback that we can look at our servicemen and women and show them our appreciation. So today is a celebration to honor those who've chosen to serve our country in this noble profession of military service. Nevada County stands to salute our veterans, our active duty reservists, retirees, our Gold Star families, who have given the ultimate sacrifice to our nation. To do this, the Nevada County Board of Supervisors adopted a resolution, 21453, proclaiming Nevada County Military Appreciation Week from November 6th through November 14th. We honor over 10,000 veterans who call Nevada County their home. Military Appreciation Program will show the solidarity in supporting our veterans and Gold Star families by offering discounts and incentives over 83 businesses and counting throughout the county. This week also recognizes the strong strategic alliance between Beale Air Force Base and Nevada County. We welcome all 15,000 Beale Air Force airmen, civilians, contractors, and retirees to our community. Through key leadership from our Director of Human Resources Department, Steve Rose, thank you, Steve, the county has brought several key initiatives to fruition and impressive results. Nevada County is the first county in California to become an Army Pays program partner. That's the Partnership for Youth Success, and by offering all county positions under this program to our soldiers. The Army Pays programs guarantees soldiers interviews with the county and if qualified for open positions, and allows us to recruit from over 1.2 million soldiers worldwide that have specific skills and talents. The county has also become a Department of Defense Skill Bridge employer, another first for Nevada County. This program allows service members to intern with select employers to gain valuable skills to assist in transitioning from military service to civilian life. To date, we have hosted 5 airmen from Beale Air Force Base under the program. One is our current Office of Emergency Services program, Paul Cummings. Another is the Chief Master Sergeant William Beretta, serving our county executive office, who joins us directly from Colonel Fox's staff. We have also partnered with the Department of Veterans Affairs to host college student veterans under the VA Work Study and Return to Work Veterans programs. All this work has garnered the county a prestigious Department of Labor's Higher Vets Platinum Medallion Award, being one of only 849 employers to be recognized at this level. That's in the whole United States. In fact, Nevada County just invited by the U.S. Department of Labor Secretary Martin Walsh to join 2 other employers on his roundtable discussion about this prestigious award. The roundtable is the main event for virtual awards ceremony to be released in November on the 10th. Nevada County was chosen for this unique opportunity based on our impressive award submission and our demonstrated commitment to veterans. This award is only recognized in the nation for hiring of veterans. The distinction galvanizes our support to veterans and makes us the only large employer with this distinction in all of Northern California. That's amazing, isn't it? That all these methods of opportunity can culminate under our internship program, spearheaded by our very own intern, Danny Neulon. Hired here in April of 2019, Danny is an MBA student at Golden Gate University and retired military from the 101st Airborne from Fort Campbell, Kentucky and Clarksville, Tennessee. He has provided oversight of these strategic partnerships that have resulted in more than 60 opportunities and over 24,000 hours of intern savings, over $450,000 in funding, and an impressive 68% post-internship hire rate, offering real job assistance to veterans. This program is one of a kind in California and is currently being one of the 2 in the entire nation. Not only has the county developed this program to honor our veterans, but it has embarked on an impressive journey to give veterans unique opportunities in this county. But our work doesn't stop there. Nevada County Veterans Services, or VSO, provides services to over 10,000 veterans and their dependents. This is led by our VCO, David West II. And I'm going to shout out to his team. He just told me what it is to be a team, and he has a great team in there right now. So we thank them for the work they're doing. So our priority is to promote the interests and welfare of veterans in our community by enhancing their lives through counseling benefits, assistance, and advocacy. Also, I'd just like to mention in our department, if they aren't really able to have those benefits, we have somebody in there that can point them to the benefits that they need or the services in our county. That's huge. The VSO staff connects veterans to their benefits by assisting them with applying for Department of Veteran Affairs compensation benefits, VA pension for eligible wartime veterans, and assisting with obtaining VA medical care. Last year, the county VSO assisted with veterans with receiving $5.3 million in new federal benefits and generated over $40 million in benefits annually. The Nevada County VSO has also collaborated with outside agencies and local veteran services and different organizations to ensure that no veteran is left in need. Currently, Nevada County is focused on reducing veterans' homelessness to function zero by Veterans Day. With initially 22 homeless veterans identified, 15 will have solid housing plans in place by the end of this month, with 12 already housed as of today. Now you may say those numbers don't match. But I want to give a shout out to this team again. We had the river fire, so there were other veterans that were displaced, and so this is a work in progress, and as we know, housing is challenging. Again, our VSO is doing a tremendous job, so these numbers change on a daily basis. Additionally, part of the Veteran Service Office collaborate efforts to organize our annual stand-down event, and that helps out veterans to interface with resources across departments and county agencies. This year, we hosted the first of its kind full-scale stand-down in person in Northern California since the pandemic began. This drive-through event on October 15th was attended by more than 242 veterans, and we provided lunches for over 200. It really was an amazing event. The weather was fantastic, and I think, again, kudos to everybody that came out and made that happen for our veterans. So in closing, I'm honored and I'm so proud to be a part of a community and a county that values the work of all these folks. To our veterans for the service provided to us for over many years, to our active military for the service and protection they provide us every day, and to our Gold Star families that sacrifice and they live with it every day. With this, we are honored and excited to take this county's partnership with Beale Air Force Base and our active military to a new level. We really do appreciate you. Thank you, Colonel Fox, and for all the distinguished vests that are here with us today. And I hope you are enjoying this camaraderie that we are establishing here as much as I do, because this is near and dear to my heart. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Sue, for your kind words. Our keynote speaker today is Colonel Heather Fox. She graduated from the U.S. Air Force Academy and started her career as a T-38 instructor pilot before transitioning to the U-2 program as a mission pilot. Colonel Fox's staff duties have included exchange officer service in the United Kingdom Royal Air Force Strategy Division, the Joint Staff Reconnaissance Division, and a strategist and speechwriter for the 19th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Her combat experience includes missions over Iraq and Afghanistan during Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom. And she has commanded the EQ-4, RQ-4, and U-2 combat missions for Operations Inherent Resolve, Freedom Sentinel, as well as other sensitive reconnaissance operations in the Arabian Gulf. Colonel Fox is a command pilot with over 2,400 hours in the U-2, the E and RQ-4, and the T-38. She has flown 69 combat missions in the U-2 and has over 650 hours of combat time. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Colonel Heather H.F. Fox, Commander, 9th Reconnaissance Wing, Beale Air Force Base.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone, on this beautiful fall day where we actually got some rain, and at least down at Beale are no longer on fire, so that's pretty cool. Thank you very much for that introduction, Steve. I didn't realize you were going to read the biography, so keeping in mind I can write speeches, not necessarily give them, so please bear with me. Basically, I am so honored to be here and want to thank everyone who put this together. It's an honor not only to be part of such a great community partnership, but I know the incredible work that Sue and Steve had to do to put this together, and we wished it were maybe about a year ago, but gosh darn it, COVID keeps getting in the way. Despite that, the huge amount of effort to bring everyone together and establish this relationship is fantastic. So honored and humbled to be here, not just at this specific event, but in this community. Sue listed some incredible things. And I mean, Nevada County really is leading some of these first to support our active duty service members, as well as our reserve, guard, veterans, wounded warriors, and our Gold Star families. So we've got some pretty cool toys. at Beale, and I don't want to speak for you, but I'm pretty sure that the Marine Corps, Navy, our new Space Force, Coast Guard, Army has some pretty cool toys as well. Blake, am I allowed to say face-melting space laser? No. No. So that's not what Space Force does. It's a joke. But don't walk right around it. So we all have incredible equipment. Each one of these services has done incredible things. And I'm sure that as the years goes on, we'll continue to list, pretty cool technology and accomplishments to that. None of that happens, though, absolutely none of it, for any of our services without the people. The people are our most important asset, no matter what. And oftentimes, especially in the military, a lot of our people are younger. In our case, probably about 80% of our 7,000 or so on Beale are below the age of 25. They've come from all over the country. In lots of cases, this is their first military posting. And as important as they are, none of that technology runs, none of those operations happen without the people. It's so important for us to create a welcoming, safe community that supports them. And this kind of community partnership is so critical to doing that. So as we've already heard, that community partnership is pretty darn fantastic. So it's exciting to be able to take it to that next step and make it even better. And when I say community, it's not just our active duty, just as we've touched on, it's our veterans, it's our wounded warriors, importantly, it's our Gold Star families. Making sure that we all weave together to become even stronger. And it's not just the military side that's benefiting from this. Like I said, it doesn't matter what part of the community we're coming from, whether it's the fire department, police department. Really looking forward to continuing to make this a much stronger, on top of an already very strong partnership. So this is a fantastic event. So thank you so much for putting it together. As our people, I can't underscore it enough, are definitely our most important asset, no matter how cool aircraft carriers are and stuff like that. So thank you so much for helping us take care of them while they serve, after they serve, taking care of their families if they would make the ultimate sacrifice, and making sure ultimately they know that they've got a community that stands behind them so that they can feel comfortable to dive in and get after what they do best, which is defend this nation. So thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here.
Thank you, Colonel Fox. We appreciate your kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker will be Colleen Marquis, representing her brother, Captain Kevin Norman, U.S. Army, who was killed in 2003 while serving in Korea. Captain Norman graduated from West Point in 1996 and selected aviation as his branch. His career began with flying Chinook helicopters and then switched to the fixed wing to fly the C-12. He died on August 12, 2003 in Seoul, South Korea. Captain Norman was serving as commander, Company A, 6th Battalion, 52nd Aviation Regiment, 17th Aviation Brigade. Norman, along with his co-pilot, Chief Warrant Officer Dave Snow, received the Distinguished Flying Cross for their heroic actions. The citation from this award states, "Through great courage and incredible flying skills, Captain Norman was able to prevent his disabled aircraft from crashing into a Korean village, saving the lives of an untold number of local, national civilians." Captain Norman demonstrated incredible courage and fortitude during this chaotic and terrifying accident. His thoughts and actions put the lives of others above his own. Please join me in welcoming his sister, Mrs. Colleen Marquis.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here today. I'm honored to be here and speak on behalf of not just my mother, but other Gold Star family members. And I'm so thankful as a Nevada County resident to see this amazing program that will honor our country's selfless servants. I'm a veteran spouse myself, as well as a Gold Star sister. As you just heard, my brother, Captain Kevin Norman, gave his life in service of our great nation. I often get asked what it means to be a Gold Star family member. I usually answer something simply as, my brother gave his life in defense of our country. But really, the truth is so much deeper and greater than that. Gold Star mothers have raised a child that selflessly joined the military to protect and serve our nation. These mothers watched with fear and pride in their hearts as their child donned our uniform that carries our flag on their shoulder and carries a dedication to protecting others in their hearts. People who are drawn to the military are natural protectors. It's in their instinct to protect and serve others. I was raised with two brothers who have strong protective instincts. My oldest brother, Sean, is a battalion chief for CAL FIRE, and my middle brother, Kevin, went to West Point and served as a pilot in the Army. I guess it's no surprise that I married someone who was in the Army, as I was drawn to his protective instincts. Loving someone who is a protector can be challenging. We often sit back and watch our loved ones put themselves in harm's way to protect others. My brother Kevin embodied this throughout his life. He would help those who were in need long before he became a cadet at West Point, and the motto of duty, honor, and country ran through his blood from the day he joined. His last moments alive, he gave his life protecting hundreds he had never met in a country that wasn't his own. I always saw the protective instincts that my husband and brothers had embodied, but I never truly understood them until I became a mother myself. Instantly, when my babies were put in my arms, I felt this overwhelming urge to protect them. While they were growing up, I would do anything to spare them pain. Gold Star mothers have the same experience. When their child would fall or scrape a knee, they would scoop them up and hug them in their arms, trying to take that pain away and spare them from any anguish. If their child needed them, they were there in an instant. They taught their children to be brave and strong and stand up for others who cannot defend themselves. Then, one day, the unthinkable happens. They receive a knock on the door, and in an instant, their life is changed forever, and no one can take that pain away from them. They will never embrace their brave, kind, sweet child again. Instead, they're left to stand beside their child's grave, and they're handed a folded flag in their arms and hear these solemn words spoken to them. On behalf of a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful service. Gold Star families have given more to our nation than any family should ever have to give. We have lost our protector. Our bright light is gone forever. I appreciate this effort on behalf of Nevada County to honor and pay tribute to this sacrifice. May we as a nation be truly grateful for this tremendous loss and sacrifice, and may we never forget. May God continue to bless our military, our veterans, and our Gold Star family members, and may God bless America. Thank you.
Colleen, thank you for your words of encouragement and for your brother's service to our nation. Our next speaker is Captain Ian Bastick. Captain Ian Bastick, a graduate of the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, started his career as a C-130H pilot, serving operational tours in Barbers Point, Hawaii, and Elizabeth City, North Carolina, before standing up the HC-144 Alpha Ocean Sensory program for the U.S. Coast Guard. Captain Bastick's staff duties have included the Office of Aviation Forces, where he served as a C-130J platform manager, as well as a senior Coast Guard and Joint Task Force advisor to the NORAD and NORTHCOM combatant commanders. Captain Bastick is currently serving his operational tour as the commanding officer, Air Station Sacramento, and is a command pilot with over 3,800 hours in the C-130H, the C-144A and B models, the C-130J, and the C-27J. Please join me in welcoming Captain Ian Bastick.
Good morning, everyone. It's an absolute honor to be here today. You obviously have some incredible programs here in Nevada County, and we appreciate everything you do for our veterans. I'm excited to be here on this beautiful morning. Thank you, Steve Rose, for inviting me up. Really appreciate that. I'm honored to represent the Coast Guard, something that's been not only my career for the last 28 years, but also a large part of my family for my entire life. I'm really glad the sun has come out this morning. The deluge of rain that we've had the past few days, I got to thinking about some events where I've been in heavy rains like that before. Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Katrina, all the other hurricane response events that the Coast Guard has participated in. But it got to me thinking, reminded me of a story, my early days in the C-130H, where we were doing an extended SAR case out in Ponape, which is a little tiny island in the South Pacific. And we were out there for, like I said, this extended SAR case, and a huge rainstorm came through, blew through that night. And the next morning we get out to the plane, we're cleaning things up and getting ready to go out on our mission, and our flight engineer's doing a walk around, and sticks his head up in the nose wheel compartment to inspect the hydraulic system up there, and gives out this big yelp and climbs out from underneath the plane. And if you're not familiar with the C-130's nose wheel compartment, it's big enough where I can stand up inside of it, right? And there's plenty of other equipment up there, but there's plenty of room for a whole entire person to be inside that compartment. And sure enough, as he comes out, immediately following him is a local man who was there. And come to find out, I mean, this guy comes down and then runs away. We never catch up with him. And, we could only surmise that during the rainstorm the night before, he had crawled up in there, found a quiet and relatively safe place out of the rain, had fallen asleep, and was awoken by our flight engineer making the rounds. We flew the mission that day, and off we were, no harm, no foul. So kind of a exciting day for us, something that we had never experienced before, and I got to thinking about that story in the deluge we had here on Sunday. How many of you are familiar with the Coast Guard? I know we got at least one over there, but that's great. That's more than I usually get when I come to events like this. We started as the Revenue Marine all the way back in 1790. Anybody have any idea whose idea it was to start the Revenue Marine? Alexander Hamilton. Thank you. Perfect. The now infamous Alexander Hamilton. It was his idea, and since 1790, with us starting in 1790 and our history going back that far, we are, unfortunately, sorry Navy, we are the oldest continuous seagoing service in the United States. So we used to have the claim of fame of being the smallest military branch, but Space Force has taken that over from us too. So nothing we can do about that. But at about 56,000 active duty reserve and civilians, we are the same size as the New York City Police Department, if you can imagine that. So they've got the 5 boroughs. We've got 95,000 miles of coastline, 3.4 million square miles of EEZ, and another 24,000 miles of intercoastal waterways and land-based waterways that we patrol at any one given day. So a little bit bigger than the 5 boroughs. We've got 11 statutory missions in the Coast Guard, and ranging from things that you might be familiar with, like search and rescue and counter narcotics. You guys all saw that video that came out 2 years ago. The guy pounding on the semi-submersible sub. That was pretty crazy stuff. Not a lot of people get to do that. That doesn't happen every day, but it looks really cool. And then other things like ice operations, international ice patrol, and living marine resources. So a lot going on, a big variety of missions here in the Coast Guard. We've also participated in every armed conflict that the U.S. has had since its inception, and we have people today, we have some cutters and port security personnel in the Persian Gulf to this day that have been there for several years supporting the broader DoD effort in that region. I come from Air Station Sacramento. It's an integral part of the West Coast area of operations for the Coast Guard. I work for Rear Admiral Penoyer, who is the District 11 commander, and he's in charge of basically California all the way down south through South and Central America in the Eastern Pacific. We are at the air station, we basically cover the entire West Coast, so all the way up to Canada with District 13, all the way down to the southern border, and we've got crews that deploy down as far south as Ecuador and into the Galapagos and doing counter-narcotics missions down there. So we are like I said, we're the only fixed-wing unit on the West Coast, and we cover just about every single one of those. Those 11 statutory missions. We haven't done any ice operations yet, but it looks like it might be in our future here in the spring, but only time will tell. Me personally, this is my first time living on the West Coast, so I'm excited for all the different opportunities that California and the West Coast brings. Like Steve said, I joined the Coast Guard when I went to the academy in 1993. As a kid, I wanted to be part of something bigger than myself. I was drawn to the humanitarian mission of the Coast Guard, the family atmosphere of the service, and the call to serve my country like many of you out here and many of your families out here today. I was heavily influenced by my father. My mother's father as well, my grandfather on her side, and 2 uncles that all of them were in the Coast Guard and retired from the Coast Guard with well over 20 years of service themselves. That legacy is what motivates me to continue to serve to this day, especially in command where I draw my courage and strength from my grandfather, who earned his stripes in the Coast Guard, serving in both the Pacific and Atlantic theaters during World War II. The servant leadership style of my father, who always taught me to take care of my people first, which obviously Nevada County is doing as well. My family motivates me to continue to serve. And I'm still having fun, so why not serve? I get to fly whenever I want. So why not continue to serve, right? Unfortunately, this is probably my last flying assignment, so I'm going to have some tough decisions here in the next couple of years myself. As much fun as I have, and as much fun as I want to make the unit for our members, there are always the challenges and the sacrifices that our service members like myself and our crews take every single day. That's why it's nice to have communities like Grass Valley and Nevada County here that recognize those sacrifices, recognize our veterans for, taking that life of service. Us as veterans, and you all understand this, that we're a humble group. We don't brag about ourselves. We don't like to ask for a lot of things, but we really feel good when we're honored for just doing our job. And that's always a great feeling. As military members, we take tremendous pride in what we do, and being able to share that with others can be a real highlight for our career, or for ourselves. So thank you, Nevada County, for inviting me to come up and share some of my stories with you. Thank you for recognizing our veterans every day for their sacrifices. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Bastick, for your kind words. Our next speaker is Lieutenant Colonel Blake Hoagland, Commander, 7th Space Warning Squadron, Beale Air Force Base, representing the newest military branch, Space Force. Lieutenant Colonel Blake Hoagland entered the United States Air Force in 2005 through the ROTC program at St. Joseph University. He recently transferred into the United States Space Force in 2020, when the National Defense Authorization Act established the nation's 6th service. Blake has served as an executive officer, branch chief, flight commander, crew commander, instructor, and evaluator, and most recently was the speechwriter to the first Chief of Space Operations and Commander of the United States Space Command. He is a graduate of the Air Force Weapons School, Marine Corps Expeditionary Warfare School, the Air Force Air Command and Staff College, and the Air Force School of Advanced Air and Space Studies. Further, Blake has deployed to Afghanistan, Qatar, South Korea, and to support multiple named operations. Blake is a master space operator with over 1,000 hours on the upgraded early warning radar and counter communication system. Please join me in welcoming Lieutenant Colonel Blake Hoagland.
All right. First off, I just want to say thanks so much. The opportunity to kind of leave the building and spend some time with friends and family. It really doesn't get much better than this. To Steve and Sue, thank you for having me be here with you all. Colonel Fox, not a better leader. Chief, not a better leader on Beale Air Force Base, or leaders. Each and every day, they think about their airmen and guardians, and then they think about their community, and it's a close second, if not a one bravo there. I'd like to start off by obviously thanking the Gold Star families. It's obviously very hard to follow a former chairman speechwriter, but a Gold Star family member, it just doesn't get more important than that. As Steve mentioned, obviously representing the nation's 6th service, we stood it up in 2019 in December. It was a major evolution of bringing space into what we would identify as a warfighting domain and getting the requisite leadership at the service level to represent those equities. So it was a big evolution for us. It's been a big couple years, really, since we started to talk about space as a warfighting domain. We've stood up the 11th Combatant Command to do essentially the warfighting, and then we followed it up on the organized, train, and equip with the 6th service. I represent about 150 Guardians, and what's unique about my squadron is about a third of them are contractors. So they live and breathe in this community, and they don't leave. And I think that's a testament to how well a community supports the military organizations. Is at some point we're all going to take off the uniform. But what I've noticed, especially about this assignment, is most folks are staying here. They're not leaving. They're not going back to their hometowns. They're staying here because this is now their hometowns. I can't tell you enough about the community. I grew up in Fairfield, not too far away from here. I always knew just to the east there was a good community. I didn't quite understand it until I came out here and served this last year here. You're all very important to us. I had the opportunity to sit down with my squadron and mention I was coming out here, and they just wanted me to say thanks on their behalf, because that's really what it's all about. So without any further ado, I really do appreciate the opportunity, and we'll see you soon, okay? Thanks.
Thank you, Colonel Hoagland. Our next speaker is Major Joshua Lewis. Commanding Officer, Recruiting Station, Sacramento, Marine Corps. Major Lewis has served in the Marine Air Wing, Division, and Logistics Group. He has held numerous staff and command billets. His staff billets include Executive Officer for the Special Purpose Marine Air Task Force, Central Command, Assistant Logistics Officer for 2nd Battalion, 9th Marines in Majah, Afghanistan, and the Deputy Logistics Officer for the Marine Logistics Group, supporting operational and tactical logistics. Major Lewis's command billets include Platoon Commander at the Basic School and Officer Candidate School, Company Commander for Transportation Services Company, and Commanding Officer Recruiting Station, Sacramento. Major Lewis's combat experience spans 5 deployments in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Operation Inherent Resolve, where he served in numerous countries across the Middle East. Please join me in welcoming Major Lewis.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Sue and Steve, again, thank you very much for having me here. It truly is an honor for myself and Sergeant Major Guzman to be a part of this. For those of you that don't know, I'm a United States Marine. United States Marines have been around for 200 and almost 46 years now. And the one thing that really rings true to me when we look at this is the fact that we celebrate the birth of our Corps the day before Veterans Day. So that looks at 2 things from it. There are 3 days that really stand out in the life of a Marine. Right? The day that you go to boot camp, right? The day that you are born, and the Marine Corps birthday itself, right? So we celebrate all those things, and then we get to carry on that tradition with Veterans Day and all that we do here. So on this 246 years and the span that the Marine Corps has done, I am definitely honored and humbled to be a speaker here today in front of each and every one of you. For me personally, I came in 2001. My father's a Marine. He served since post-Vietnam through Desert Storm. My uncle was a Marine. He was an infantry officer in the early 70s. My other uncle was also a Marine and then transferred over to the Air Force as a combat pilot. And all of those things didn't really guide me or shape me in any way more forward to becoming a United States Marine. What I've found is it's the influence that's out there. My uncle was one of my great influencers who did not serve whatsoever. He went to college at a small college in Minnesota, one that I started going off to. And then my best friend in high school who decided to become a United States Marine and have that influence on me. And those 2 people right there helped shape what it is that I had going to next in my life. Going forward, my 2 older cousins, and I say that they're older than me because I tell them that I started my career ahead of them as they were figuring life out, are in the infantry side and the aviation side. So for those of you that understand the Marine Corps, we make up the Marine Air Ground Task Force, which is pretty special to us to serve into, and that competition runs deep amongst all of us in there. But the influence is what I go back to. The influence of my best friend who we served with, and my uncle. The influence of this county. The fact that each and every single one of you in here have ties and lineage to what it is that we do every single day. And I appreciate the 10,000 of the 100,000 veterans that make up this county. And the other 90,000 that also support that. The 300 businesses that make up this location in here, and the 80 plus that are going to be a part of this Veterans week-long celebration for them. The influence that each and every one of you have is the reason why we do what we do here. The reason why we continue to carry on in doing this, and the reason why we hold our heads so high with pride with every single one of our service branches that we have. Because we will go back and forth in terms of who has air, land, and sea dominance, and there is no arguing who has that. It is the Marine Corps. But ultimately is the fact that we are one team, one fight. And without the support back here and what you all have, I cannot express any more gratitude and thank you to each and every one of you. For those that cannot be here with us, and I know for the families that see this in here, they know that they can also picture their son or daughter as wearing this uniform still today. And it is with extreme humility that I'm able to stand up here with them and carry on that legacy as well. So my appreciation to all of you and for the ultimate sacrifice that your brother and that your son gave, and for all the other Gold Star families out there. And additionally, for all the Blue Star families that have their son or daughter forward deployed, my heart is out there with them, and knowing that they are alongside their brothers and sisters who know exactly what they need to do to continue to defend this nation day in and day out. So to the members of Nevada County, thank you very much for having me be here. Thank you for the influence that you have on all of us and those young men and women that are in this community today. And I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Major Lewis. Our next speaker is Commander Brian Durloff, Executive Officer, Navy Talent Acquisition Group, Golden Gate, representing the United States Navy. Commander Durloff hails from Tampa, Florida, and earned his commission from the United States Naval Academy in 2003. He is an aviation warfare qualified, flying over 2,500 hours in the H-60 Seahawk helicopter in support of counter-narco-terrorism, NATO and combat operations, and operations enduring freedom and inherent resolve. Ashore, Commander Durloff earned an MBA from the University of Florida and a Master's of Art in Foreign Affairs from the U.S. Naval War College. A graduate of the Maritime Advanced Warfighting School, he served as a strategic planner for the U.S. Pacific Fleet in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. He currently serves as the commanding officer of the Navy Talent Acquisition Group, Golden Gate, leading a recruiting force of over 300 sailors assigned across Northern California. Please join me in welcoming Commander Durloff.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for all of you for your support. As Steve said, I have the opportunity to lead the recruiters across Northern and Central California. We have over 300 across 40 stations. I think the nearest station here is in Yuba City. And one of the best parts of my job is talking to the future generation. Because what we have here in America is because of a lot of you sitting here and our grandfathers, the greatest generation, who decided to serve their country. Like my grandfather, who was in medical school and dropped out the day after Pearl Harbor from medical school and was in Guadalcanal within the year getting bombed every day. If it wasn't for them, for their sacrifice and their legacy of service, none of us would be here. So now as we look to the future generation, I have the opportunity to talk to your sons and daughters, grandsons and granddaughters about why they chose to serve. You know, the millennials, they get a lot of grief, and I'm trying to understand what is their reasoning. And they shared the same thing that I thought when I decided to serve and go to Annapolis when I was 18. They say, I want to be part of something bigger than myself. I want to maximize my potential. A lot of them say, I just want to get out of town and do something adventurous. They say that they want to make their mom and dad proud, or their grandfather, grandmother, their aunt, uncle. A lot of them say, I need a job to take care of my family and put food on the table. That's their heart, and it's an honor for us to share our stories with them. For me, it was the same reason. Someone shared their story with me when I was in high school. It was an older classman at my high school. He was going to a place called West Point. I had no intentions of serving in the military, but when he shared why he wanted to go to West Point, something clicked in my brain. I said, that's exactly what I'm looking for. That's what I want. And so I decided to go to the better school, Annapolis, and I am thankful for it. When people tell me thank you for your service, I tell them, you know what, it's been a blast. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to serve. I've been able to travel to 6 of the 7 continents. I've been to over 40 countries. I tell the future sailors the Navy has allowed me to go hang gliding in the Swiss Alps. I've gone cliff diving in the Greek islands, scuba diving across the Caribbean, hiking in New Zealand, and tasted the best foods around the world. And the Navy has given me an incredible opportunity to serve alongside the greatest men and women this country has to offer. So I am grateful. I also, emotion that I feel when people ask me about my service is concern. Coming from Pacific Fleet, as you heard in my bio, I was a strategist, and it's clear that we have an adversary out there who does not believe in our way of life. And we need the future generation to stand up and serve their country selflessly so that we can maintain for future generations what we've all been able to enjoy here. So thank you for what you do in honoring us. You know, I tell the future sailors and I tell our sailors, it's serving in the military is one of the greatest honors you'll have. You know, JFK said that if you ask any man or woman what they did in this life to make their life worthwhile, they can say with a great deal of pride, I served in the United States Navy or enter any other service. And I believe that. And I tell them for the businesses here, think about this. Businesses from around our area are willing to give you a portion of their profits back to you to honor you in the form of military discount. And so thank you to the businesses for honoring them. Because it's difficult and it's not easy in this generation to be selfless and to serve your country. Lastly, I'll say, the emotion that I also feel in serving our country is humility, humbled. I am honored to have the opportunity to honor the legacy of all those who have gone before us wearing this cloth of our nation and gave up their lives for our country. There's no greater honor than that. And it's, the verse that says that there is no greater love than this, to lay down your life for your friends. What an honor to serve our country and to wear this nation's cloth and to represent that ideal, which I think is the highest ideal in our nation. So thank you for having me here, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you.
Thank you, Commander Durloff. Our next speaker is Commander, retired U.S. Coast Guard Claude Hessel, representing the American Legion and member of the Nevada County Consolidated Veterans Council as the Commander, American Legion Frank Galeno Post 130. Commander Hessel graduated from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and was commissioned Second Lieutenant, Medical Services Corps, U.S. Army in June 1970. He started his Army service flying the UH-1 Huey helicopters transporting burn patients as part of the Brooks Army Center in San Antonio, Texas. In 1973, he was transferred to the newly formed Health Service Command Flight Detachment, flying Army medical officers via both fixed and rotary wing aircraft. In 1977, then, Captain Hessel resigned his Army commission to receive a direct commission as a lieutenant junior grade in the U.S. Coast Guard, initially flying HF-52 helicopters out of Coast Guard Air Station, Los Angeles. Over the next 21 years, Claude served various duty stations, including Coast Guard Air Station San Francisco, icebreaker deployments to both the Arctic and Antarctic, and Air Station Cape Cod Counter-Narcotics as Director, Operation Bahamas, Turks, and Caicos Islands. Retiring as an executive officer of Air Station Sacramento, which then operated C-130H aircraft in June 1998. The event which received the most notoriety of his Coast Guard career was the H-3 helicopter rescue of the sailing vessel Statutory in the perfect storm out of Air Station Cape Cod on October 30th, 1991. Please join me in welcoming Commander Hessel.
Thank you, Steve. And thanks for having me. This isn't at all about me today. This is about these people here and the support they got from there. And I'd like to have you clap for these people. And the county that put this on, Allison Lehman sitting right over here, I just met this morning. And Steve Rose put this together along with David West. Great job. Thank you. Yeah, it's great to see all the active duty military branches represented here, including the United States Coast Guard. Sorry, I got to pump the Coast Guard every once in a while. We're really small, and people don't know what the heck we do. So, as a 21-year member of the American Legion, Frank Galeno Post 130, and a current post commander, and a member of the Nevada County Consolidated Veterans Council, NCCVC. I'll be giving just a brief history of this beautiful building, which is now the county's, and the NCCVC, and of course, American Legion. American Legion was created following World War I in November 1919. And this post, the Frank Galeno Post 130, just a month later, it's over 100 years old. And they broke ground in August of 1931 and digging out the lower portion where there's the dining hall, the bar, the bowling alley, etc., after World War II, using picks, shovels, wheelbarrows, and that sort of thing. And that was led by the American Legion and joined by all the veterans in the area. In the 1950s, the post was renamed for Frank Galeno, who was the undersheriff in the area and was a World War II Coast Guard veteran. In the 1960s, the post was renamed for him, and that was in the 1950s. In 1960, the building was deeded over to the county with a memo of understanding that the American Legion would be provided certain spaces, use of certain spaces, and priority throughout the building, along with other veteran organizations, which continues to this day. So some 30 years ago, one of our Marine Vietnam veterans, Oral Stallings, and another veteran from World War II, Rudy Kucher, started the All Veterans Honor Guard. Now you saw a portion of it here today was a color guard. Pete Vasilakis back there with the hat on is the captain of the honor guard and the color guard. And Rudy Kucher and Oral Stallings together took all the smaller honor guards at that time, which were having a hard time getting enough members to put on a shoot, we call it, and organized the All Veterans Honor Guard. And that was some 30, 35 years ago and continues to today. Now, County Veteran Service Officer, Marine Corps veteran David West recently designated the old Veteran Service Office to the American Legion. Thank you, David. Saw David sitting out here somewhere. There he is. Yeah, he's kind of a fireball and does a lot of stuff around this county. In December 2019, our adjutant and Army Vietnam veteran, Mike Hauser, with the support of Grass Valley Downtown Association, the Chamber of Commerce, and many other local businesses, our post supported a Beale Air Force Base Christmas party. And it was held right here in this building with a clown, pictures of Santa, of kids sitting with Santa, food, drinks, etc. Mike's sitting right over there with a sunglass on top of his head. Thank you, Mike. And Mike is the fireball behind the American Legion right now. I try to keep up with him. Now, this year, due to the efforts of the Honor Guard captain, Pete Vasilakis, guy back here I just recently pointed out, we're going to have a Christmas dance right here. And it's going to feature Robbie James and the Streets of Bakersfield. And Beale Air Force Base and all veterans are invited and will be honored, and we'll have a free drink if you show up. It's a great country band. Another important event to mention is on Veterans Day, November 11th, 2021, a local boy, Orlo Steele, Major General, United States Marine Corps, retired. And I say local boy, he worked in the Empire Mine when he was a teenager, okay? And he came back here to retire. Well, he organized the event on Veterans Day this year to honor the 100-year anniversary of the park, Memorial Park in Grass Valley. So if you can, come on out. It's going to be it's going to start at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then the American Legion is sponsoring a flag retirement that the Boy Scouts are going to do at 5 o'clock in that park in the afternoon. So I just want to thank everybody and wrap this up. When you honor our active duty people, and it's so great to have a retired Air Force veteran as our HR county guy, to put this all together, we just thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm a little shorter. Our next speaker, thank you, Claude, for those kind words. Our next speaker is representing the NorCal Recruiting Battalion on behalf of David Clay. It's Mr. Lance Azumi, the civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army. In 2019, Lance was appointed civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army. In this role, he promotes good relations between the Army and the public in Northern California and advises the Secretary on regional issues. Lance served as a captain in the California State Military Reserve from 1991 to 1996 and was awarded the CSMR Commendation Medal. He is the president of the Community Relations Board of the U.S. Army Northern California Recruiting Battalion and was awarded the Army Outstanding Civilian Service Medal in 2016. In 2017, the Association of the United States Army bestowed upon Lance the Colonel David A. Appalling Award for Outstanding Recruiting Support. Lance, with great pleasure to have you speak today.
I'm even shorter than you, Steve. So, first of all, I want to thank Nevada County. The Army has had an incredible partnership with Nevada County. Steve, not only former Air Force, but he also serves on our Community Relations Board for the United States Army for our recruiting battalion. It has been an incredible asset and advisor to our battalion leadership on recruiting matters for the United States Army. I also want to thank Supervisor, for bringing up the Partnership for Youth Success program that Allison and the county and all of you got together to partner with the Army to open up Nevada County for returning Army veterans so that they can have the possibility for job opportunities here with Nevada County. So we have an incredibly strong relationship with Nevada County, and I'm very thankful for this partnership. You know, what an incredible group of speakers we've had today, from Colleen to all the representatives of the various armed forces. I noticed that we have a few former speechwriters here, Colonel Fox and others. I actually served a few years ago as speechwriter to the United States Attorney General, Ed Meese, in the Reagan administration, and I also served as chief speechwriter to California Governor George Deukmejian, all of which I tell people means that behind every great man, there's a little Japanese guy at a keyboard. But I think that, you know, one of the things that all of our speakers here today have been talking about is how the armed forces, the military, transforms lives. Colonel Fox mentioned how, you know, regardless of all the toys and the hardware you have, it's the people, right, that are so important. They're the key to the United States military, regardless of which branch in which we all serve. And that's so true, because when you look at each individual military member's story, it is a transformational story. It's people going in as one thing, coming out something completely different. And, you know, And in my own case, my father, he was born dirt poor in Hawaii, when Hawaii was still a territory. He worked in a sugarcane field. He worked in a pineapple field. Their family was about as poor as you could get. And he grew up in the 1930s, 1940s, and then something came along that changed his life. He joined the United States Coast Guard, and he was sent from Hawaii to be stationed in Boston. And they told him, this is during wintertime, and they told him, "Hey, brah, gonna be cold in Boston." And he took a windbreaker. But my father, I didn't realize this until just, relatively recently. Remember when that great Coast Guard movie came out, Their Finest Hours? My father was actually serving on one of the Coast Guard cutters that was involved in that whole incident that involved that movie. And so for those of you who have never seen that movie, it's about two tanker ships that break in two in the early 1950s on the same day. And the Coast Guard was sent out there to save the people, as many as they could. My father was stationed, was part of the crew of the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Casco. And they went to the ship, the Fort Mercer, which was actually not the ship that was profiled in that movie, but it was the other ship called the Pendleton. But, when I told my father about this movie, because he doesn't follow Hollywood, when I told him about this movie, and I said, "Dad, you ought to watch this movie." And he says, "Is that about the two ships breaking in two?" And I said, "Yeah, well, I went to one of them." And so, that was something I only learned right after the movie came out. All those years, my father never spoke of it. And so, and I know that's how it is with many military members. They don't speak about what happens. But, what the Coast Guard did for my father, it transformed his life. He ended up using the GI Bill, got his education, and ended up becoming the head trail planner for Los Angeles County. All the equestrian and bike trails you see in LA County, if you go down there to the beach or whatever, my father designed all of that. And he went from being this dirt poor guy on a sugarcane field in Hawaii to being this person that he became, but it was because of the United States military. It was because of the Coast Guard. And that's what happens. In to tell an Army story, and then I'll give it back to Steve, but to tell an Army story, my wife's nephew is right now an officer in the Idaho National Guard. And when he first was interested in joining the military, he wanted to join the Army. He was here in the Sacramento area, and he wanted to join, and his father, though, was my wife's brother. He was a former anti-Vietnam War activist. And so the thought that his son would want to join the United States Army was an anathema to him, right? So he was very much against that. So I told him, given my position with the Army, serving as the civilian aide, and that I told him that, whatever you think the United States Army is, whatever you think the United States military is, you got to see what it is now. And so I had my brother-in-law talk to Colonel Charles DeRay, who was our commander of our recruiting battalion at the time. And he told him, look, your son is going to have an incredible future because we have 150 different occupations available in the Army. It is going to be your son's, it's going to be your oyster to open. And that's what happened. The father relented. His son went into the Army, went down to Fort Huachuca down in Arizona, became an intelligence analyst with the Army, and was able to then serve honorably, got discharged, used his education benefits, got his education, but then still wanted to serve, and joined he eventually became a deputy sheriff up in Idaho by Boise. He then continued to want to serve, though joined the Idaho National Guard as a non-commissioned officer, and then he wanted to do more, and he went to officers' candidate school, and now is a pilot. He flies Blackhawks for the Idaho National Guard. And who was the proudest person at his commissioning ceremony was my brother-in-law, the anti-war activist, who was there filming his son, getting his lieutenant bars on his shoulders, just like any proud dad. Because the military transformed not just his son, it transformed him as well. It transforms all of those who serve, it transforms our communities. Because we're all one people. We're all the American people, and the thing that unites us more than anything else is the United States military. And I think that what this event does today is it brings that unity that we all seek in this country, that we all want. It's here right now, with all of you, with all of them, and to everyone in this building right now. I want to thank you for your support of our United States military, every one of the branches, and to every one of the leaders here in Nevada County. So I want to thank you very much.
Lance, thank you for those kind words and the story of your family. It reminds me of when I joined the military. I was 17, I enlisted in the Air Force. I was destined to I was actually already in college as a high school senior. I don't know why I joined. My parents thought I was too much of a free spirit to be in an organization that was bound by rules. They're my biggest supporters, and I definitely see the change that it did in me, but also in my parents. Signing away their son at 17 years old to join the military when they thought that I wouldn't be successful, but they believed in me, and so did the Air Force. And so 25 years later, after being commissioned, it was the best choice that I made career-wise. So thank you, Lance. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, District Supervisor Sue Hook would like to make a special presentation of the board resolution to our keynote speaker, Colonel Fox. This resolution declares Military Appreciation Week in Nevada County. Supervisor Hook will now present. Sorry. No, go ahead. Thank you. Supervisor Hook will now present our guest speakers with challenge coins, thanking them for their service and speeches. One particular story dates military challenge coins back to World War I, and a wealthy military officer who had bronze medals struck with his flying squadron insignia stamped on them. He presented the coins to each member of the squadron before they departed on missions over Europe. One day, a pilot was shot down over Germany and later captured by German soldiers and held captive as a prisoner of war. He was stripped of all personal belongings and identification by the Germans and only had his personal clothing and a small leather pouch that contained the squadron coin inside. The pilot eventually escaped his German captors and made his way back to France. The French, who retained him, thought he was a spy. Upon discovery of the squadron medallion, he was recognized as an American and later returned to his unit. The coin saved his life and earned him the recognition as an American soldier. To those who have been presented a coin today by Sue, you will always have a special place in Nevada County. Thank you. Supervisor Hook would like to make a special recognition. Would Miss Lori Norman and Miss Karen Meredith, for their family's ultimate sacrifice for the freedom of our nation, no gift, no condolence, no words can thank your families enough. Thank you both for what you continue to do for veterans and the United States of America. This event took a community to put on, and I want to thank everybody, large and small, who participated. From the staff in the back representing the county offices to our interns that are working day in and day out to make sure that Nevada County is a successful employer. To all in attendance today, thank you. But we're not done. Not yet. I want to personally thank Miss Diana Runnels. Diana, I know you didn't want to come up forward, but please do. We have a special presentation for you. Diana, hopefully Diana is still here. We would like to present a challenge coin from the Board of Supervisors to Diana. Diana stepped up and as a volunteer made this program, the Military Appreciation Week discount, possible. The 83 businesses you see being displayed and the pamphlet in the rear is all the fruit of her work. We envisioned a program that was executed by Diana and would not have been possible without her dedication, professionalism, and dedication to the county's veterans. Diana, thank you. Danny Neulon, would you please come forward? Supervisor Hook would like to present you with a Board of Supervisors challenge coin. Danny, a veteran himself, was the chief architect and intern making my vision a reality, building the internship program from scratch to the nationally recognized program with distinction. He has personally mentored and assisted all 60 interns through the program since its inception, guiding them and giving them the help and encouraging them to achieve more. Without his guidance and knowledge, the vision would not have materialized. Danny, it's with great pleasure to see you presented with the Nevada County Board of Supervisors Challenge Coin. Your work reflects great credit upon yourself and the County of Nevada. You have risen to the challenge to put service before self and create a program that will benefit many in the future. Thank you, Danny. I want to extend a special thanks to all of our speakers, the county staff, volunteers, and interns. Susan Cadera, Kent Cadera, Kathy Miller, Daniel Neulon, Kathleen Neulon and her staff, Tony Solis, Jenny Murray, Megan Brooks, and Christina Kuka, David West and his staff, whose dedication and support to this program ensured its ultimate success. Mike Hauser for his support to the program and Veterans Organization. A special thanks to Katz County Cafe for sponsoring the event and supporting our veterans, along with the businesses that have provided special discounts and offering through Military Appreciation Week and beyond. As we depart today, I would be remiss if I did not bring to your attention to Red Fridays. You may have noticed posters and flyers around the auditorium today. RED is an acronym for Remember Everyone Deployed. And the term describes civilian and military families' effort to show their support for those deployed. To show support, civilians and military families wear red on Fridays. It isn't easy to pin down the origin of this act of remembrance. We ask that you remember those who are deployed every Friday during the month of November, and please wear red. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. On your way out, please stop by the table in the back to pick up a military appreciation pamphlet and a specially designed cookie to commemorate today's event. Please rise for the departure of the official party. Thank you all for attending.